We're going to go ahead and jump into the next segment.
That's what I've been saying for years.
This should pop off some questions. But this is, we're going to just jump into... Desperate times call for desperate players and the waiver wire picks. For anybody that's been following us since the beginning, you know we started with desperate times, desperate players on Sunday mornings, but we've moved this up Tuesday night, so we're doing waiver wire and desperate times, desperate players. And then Nicole, gotcha. And then what did Kyle say? With that respect, Sean, I'll take Atlanta's defense. I think Washington's got a okay defense, but I think Chase Young needs to come back for them to actually be considered a good defense, personally.
I don't think they have a good defense.
I know you're a Cowboys fan. Your opinion doesn't count against
it. Does
them.
They stink? It's Taylor Heineke season. No matter how hard they try to stay away, he always comes back.
Speaking of Taylor Heineke, he's a quarterback. We're going to start with our fantasy quarterbacks that you can pick up. David, do you have any quarterbacks that you're looking at?
I do. It's really similar to last week. It feels wrong, but I am intrigued by Mariota right now. I know they don't throw the ball a lot, but he's efficient. He's not turning the ball over, and if that running game can get them into the red zone, if you need a quarterback this week, I would not be mad at this pick. They're playing Cincinnati this week. Mariota is one of the top quarterbacks in the league as far as running plays designed for him. They have a potent rushing attack. They have a couple big-name targets for him. They just don't like to throw the ball. I mean, they're this close to being the Chicago Bears. But they can get into the red zone. I don't think he's going to just blow the socks off the fantasy community this week. But if you need a quarterback, I do think he's a decently safe option.
He only threw the ball 14 times.
Yeah, they don't throw the ball a lot. They threw it 7 times the week before.
Times?
7 the week before. 7. Did you hear that? Yeah. 7. Half of that.
Justin Herbert could never.
He went 13 for 14. But he threw 2 touchdowns. And he ran 1 in.
That's just crazy.
They're getting to the red zone off of their running game. So he is going to be highly touchdown dependent. However, I mean, he's being very efficient. So if the running game can keep going, I think he's a legitimate threat in the red zone with Kyle Pitts and his legs. So, like I said,
yeah, that's crazy. He scored 24 points and only passed the ball 14 times. Mm-hmm. Justin Herbert threw the ball 57 times and only scored like 7 points. So,
exactly.
What does it matter?
I like Mr. Bailey Zip on the ball Zappy is what I've been. He threw for over 300 yards this week, so they're letting him slang it. He broke the record in college for the most touchdowns and yards in a season. So he throws the ball a lot, and he's done it a lot in his career. Obviously, he's a rookie; he hasn't done a lot in the NFL, but it seems like Bill's letting him sling it out there. So. If he threw for 300 yards last week when the rushing attack was looking good, I mean, it's not like they had to throw the ball. So I like Zappy going forward. That's a viable option to pick up. I would take Zappy over like Russ.
Do you think Mac Jones, when he comes back, has a job?
Yes. That's my question. I left Zappy off completely because of that. Now, we know that Belichick has absolutely, no room for egos. He's a next man up kind of guy. And if you're playing better than the guy ahead of you, you're going to play. But do you think that if there's any chance that Mac is healthy enough to start, they still go with Zappy?
So if McCorkle Jones gets back in there, if he's healthy soon, saw your face.
I was like, Uzi, what? I was like, who's he talking about? I'm like, oh my god.
McCorkle, Mac. That's what Mac's short for. McCorkle Jones.
Is it really?
Look it up. I don't think he's going to be back soon, and I think there's a little bad blood with Mac Jones and the Patriots right now. The Patriots wanted him to have surgery, and he refused. Apparently, that's a big thing in the NFL. Like, you are supposed to do what the team tells you. That's why our boy Nakobe Dean for the Georgia Bulldogs fell to the 3rd round in the draft because he was the teams wanted him to have surgery on his shoulder, and he said no. Or his knee, maybe. I can't remember exactly. But they wanted him to have surgery. He said no. And so he fell all the way down on the draft board. And it seems like the Patriots are not happy with Mac right now because of that. So if I think Zappy's got at least 2 more weeks. Like, I don't think they're going to rush Mac back. So if Zappy can keep
Mac
slanging it out
said
there,
he needed all this time for his very hurt ankle to get better.
Yeah, the last rookie to do that in the NFL, Tom Brady. Look how he turned out. Yeah. You know, Tom Brady's only lost to 6 rookie QBs in his career. The first ever rookie QB he lost to was a guy named Ben Roethlisberger. And the most recent rookie QB he lost to is a guy named Kenny Pickett.
Who was in for like 5 seconds.
He played the whole first half.
I had Kenny Pickett on my fantasy roster, so of course he got hurt in the middle of the
don't
game.
Start a Steeler again.
If someone would like to trade me Jalen Hurts, I will gladly take him off your hands and I will start him. Please.
But yeah, I like the possibility of Zappy, and there's a lot of quarterback questions out there. Not a lot of people are playing like amazing, so there's a lot of people that need it. Clip that.
Don't clip that. Moving on.
But yeah, Sean has a really good point. Heineke has yet to throw an interception all season, so keep an eye out for Heineke.
You know, Cooper Rush had yet to throw an interception too, and then the Eagles happened. And now I just want to say really quick, this has nothing to do with fantasy, but everybody that said Cooper Rush, I'd like you to line up and start apologizing. Just line up, start apologizing. Thank you.
Ash and I are feeling real good about that Philly game. We were very much, in step and in agreement on what we wanted to happen during that game. Congrats, Ash. It all came to fruition. Our evil plan that'll hopefully salvage some of this season. Because we got a great record right now, but let's be honest, we really haven't played anybody.
Our offense is awful.
I'm just glad Cooper Rush talk is over.
Oh my gosh!
Stop.
Stop.
While I leave this up here, any other quarterbacks?
Get that off of here. This is disgusting. I did not come on Kyle's show and start talking nonsense. It's because I talked about Kyle Pitts earlier. It's because on Kyle's show, he decided he wanted to talk crap about Koo, and I was not about it. Don't talk crap about my man. But now he's in here saying I'm an Eagles. Ugh. Kyle, we're not friends today.
I love the comment section right now.
The Baltimore Ravens are not a serious friend. What are the Ravens doing? This is not fantasy related, but what are they doing?
Is Lamar Jackson getting exposed? Did Lamar Jackson throw away the game in the 4th quarter because he has a bad arm?
It is.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, I will say one thing though. Kenyon Drake had a really, really good game.
Can we wait till we get to the running backs to talk about
why? That? I drafted him, and then I dropped him, and every league I drafted him because I was like, this guy's a bum. Literally has not touched the ball all season, and then absolutely went off this week. I'm so mad about
it. Speaking of fantasy running backs to pick up.
Gosh, I'm so mad because I dropped him in a dynasty league. So
I will say about the Ravens, I think I said it before the season started. I think we had a conversation about it. That I think Lamar is making business decisions right now. He is not playing like his normal self because he hasn't gotten paid. And I think that's truly messing with his mental. And he's not He's running out of bounds a lot easier. He doesn't look like the same Lamar, and I truly believe it's because in the back of his mind he hasn't got that guaranteed money. But that's just we had talked about it earlier, and I really think that is one of the issues in Baltimore right now.
I can't stand Kyle. Anyway,
I mean, I'm sure it has nothing to do with a rushing team that cannot keep a healthy running back for more than 5 minutes.
Yeah,
maybe they need to become a passing team. I don't know.
Whatever they're doing is not working for them because they keep leading by double digits and then
losing. Deshaun Jackson's coming to town, though.
I was gonna say they just got Deshaun Jackson.
He is like what? He is not gonna be good.
35 years old.
Bryant
back. He's 40 years old.
After
35
he was out of the
years
league.
old. He's been in the league for 14 years.
You both wanted.
And you know what
back.
His number one weapon as a receiver was his speed.
He's like what? He's like 38 years old.
Hey, Terrell Owens just ran like a 4.3 at like 50 years old. Just because you get old doesn't mean you lose speed.
I mean, he can be fast, but that.
Nathan, sorry. So back to what we're supposed to be talking about here. Nathan asked a question: should I still keep Williams now that Swift is back? I think so. Swift is a injury risk, and Williams looked very good running the ball in his absence. So I think he's definitely worth holding on to. He might even be. Might even be like a Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb situation where you could start both of them a lot of the times, just because with Swift always being hurt or injury prone, they might lean to use both of them to hopefully not put all the strain back on Swift. What do you think, David?
Yeah. If you have Swift, Williams should be your number one priority.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I didn't read what Kyle said. Kyle said, do you think they'll let Dallas Stars hold hands and look at the stars at night together? And that's why their logo is a star. All right, that was awesome. Anyway.
I like the stars.
Nathan has another question. What about James Robinson and Christian Kirk? The Jags aren't looking like what I expected. What do you think, David?
I've been against both of them, for the last 3-4 weeks. I don't trust it. I kept waiting for, the other shoe to drop. Both of them have had sparks this year, but I don't trust it to be something I can rely on throughout the season. So I'm not making any moves to go get them. And if you have them, especially James Robinson, I think that you should use that name, and you're getting further away from his production. You're going to be relying more on the name. So if it was me, I would have moved off James Robinson already.
I think I said last week that the teams are starting to look towards their rookie running backs now and give them more touches. So James Robinson and Michael Carter are slowly on their way out, and the Travis Etienne and I guess he's not a rookie, but it is his first year playing. Travis Etienne and Breece Hall are starting to take over those roles. So I would move on for Robinson. I'm not moving on from Christian Kirk yet. The Jags are going to be down in a lot of games. They're going to be passing a lot. He's still the number one option there. So I would hold on to Kirk, and I have no problem starting Kirk in most weeks, as long as he doesn't have doesn't go up against like a dominant corner. I like him going forward. Again, the Baltimore Ravens aren't a serious franchise.
I would like to speak on that.
The Robinson and Christian Kirk.
Because at the beginning of the season, I said that Robinson was not going to do doo-doo, and that Etienne was going to be the guy, and now I'm going to be right moving forward.
Just took you a month and a half.
Quick question.
There's more games to be played than games that have already been played. So I am correct. I am right. Thank you. I have James Robinson in a league, and I am screwed because at this point, if anybody's paying attention, it's too late to get rid of James Robinson. If you have people that aren't really paying attention, you might be able to get away with being like, look, I have James Robinson. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, I know him. He's good. But if you've been paying attention, James Robinson is going down and going down quickly. I like Christian Kirk still. I'm a Christian Kirk fan, though. I would move on from him. That is all.
Do you have something there, David?
I just was wondering if there's any way you guys could mute Kyle.
So actually, he's got a good point here. Start Chase Claypool since now they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and going to the Super Bowl. I mean, he's right. So did I poke the bear? 100%.
Chase Claypool had a really, really, really good game on my bench this week.
So the thing
that
with
was super fun.
I will give you a little bit of insider from the Steelers on the Chase Claypool thing. If Mitch Trubisky starts, don't start Deontay, sit him and start Chase. The reports have come out that the benching on the Jets game was because Mitch's benching on the Jets game was because him and Deontay got into it, and Mitch doesn't like Deontay, it sounds like, and vice versa. So that's why he was targeting Chase a lot in the second half of the game, and Chase Claypool had such a good game. I said last week, if you go back in our group chat, when the Steelers were getting blown out by the Bills, Chase Claypool is better than Deontay, and then this week he absolutely outperformed him. I like Chase Claypool a ton. I think he is better than Deontay. I'm so over Deontay. It's insane. But
on that note, how do you feel about Tomlin benching Trubisky after Deontay dropped the third down? He didn't get his feet in on the touchdown. I read this article like an hour ago. Yeah. How do you feel about Tomlin just benching Trubisky, even though it sounds like Trubisky was right?
We signed Trubisky to $7 million for 2 years. We signed Deontay to $60 for 3. So you go with the guy that makes more money.
And I think
I like Kenny Pickett more than
Deontay.
Like
Pickett was really getting frustrated too.
I don't think he was getting frustrated. I think the players wanted Pickett.
Yeah.
I think the receivers wanted Pickett, and I'll take the receiver. Mitch wasn't getting it done either. It's like if he wasn't playing well. Yeah, Deontay. Trust me, I'm mad at Deontay. Like I've been frustrated with Deontay all year too, but I was also frustrated with Mitch. But Mitch was bringing down Claypool and Pickens, whereas Pickett stepped in and showed what their talent really is so far. And so I like them going forward.
I don't know. I think Mitch had one decent half with Claypool. That's I mean, other than that, he hasn't really done great. They did say that's interesting that finally came out, because when it was happening, they did say that there was something happened in the locker room, and that's why they made this switch. So it's interesting that it was Deontay and Mitch. The receivers, you can tell when they play with Mitch, they are just not happy and they are frustrated. And so I think
the team runs through the quarterback. It was a very obvious switch was flipped when Pickett started playing. The Steelers moved the ball up and down the field. Even against the Bills, when we only put up 3 points, we moved Kenny Pickett at over 300 yards. Like they moved the ball up and down. Mitchell Trubisky had 3 and out after 3 and out after 3 and out, and it's not like they changed the playbook for Pickett, because it's still super frustrating, and it drives me nuts that the play calling is still. We run 17 jet sweeps a game because apparently that's supposed to work, which it doesn't. It drives me bananas, but it's the same exact playbook, the same exact players. Pickett is obviously better. Mitch had a good half. Okay, you had a good half.
I mean, 6 weeks in and you had one good half. I'm not going to write home about it, is all. You could tell that when Pickett came in, the receivers wanted to play for Pickett. They, wanted to do good. They were trying to make the catches, laying out, with Mitch, it was just no one wanted to play with Mitch. It was bad. But
I think they tried at the beginning, but Mitch just, it was, again, he doesn't see the field well. He locks in on his receivers. It was a problem. He did it again. He just locked in on Chase. Chase just made some great catches. It's not like anything changed on that game, but the outcome was different. Chase was able to bring down the catches. Back to what we were talking about, though. Running backs. Waiver wire running backs, since Kenyon Drake was already thrown out there by Ash. I think me and David both agree he's probably at the top of the list for running backs.
Who was?
He is Kenyon Drake.
Yeah.
For the Ravens.
You got my bad. I was just mad at
him. Who's your next one that you got, David? Or if you want to talk about Drake, go ahead and.
Drake and Gus are kind of a toss-up to me, because we don't know if Gus is going to be back. But if he's not, obviously Kenyon gets the shot that Eno had last week. So, they're both widely available. at this point. So if you can't get Kenyon, I would still maybe take a shot at Gus and hope he's healthy. Because I don't think that they want to go into that game with Kenyon as their only back. So after that, we've been talking about this. Latavius Murray, it blows my mind. Right after the injury to Javonte, we all sat here and we really dug into both this and the Atlanta running back situation. But this one, we said he's been in the league for 4 years. They would know if he's the guy, but we knew nothing about Boone. And the fact that Murray can literally walk in off the street and get 47% of snaps, 15 carries to Boone's one? I think Boone had 1 carry. That just tells you everything you need to know about Boone. And Murray's the guy. Murray's the guy right now. Obviously, Melvin Gordon in that situation, I think he's going to be traded. At this point, you've got to trade him. At this point, it's like Cam Akers, it's like Antonio Gibson. When the team does not want you there, and same situation, when a guy who just walked off the street is going to get all the work, and you're just going to sit on the bench. Melvin Gordon was asked after the game if, the coaches talked to him about being benched. He was like, no. I don't know if you guys saw that clip, but it was super depressing. The guy was just completely broken, defeated. He was just like, no, nobody said anything to me. It was just, I just kept waiting, hoping I could have an opportunity to help the team because I really felt that I could. It was sad.
Yeah. You tell looking at him on the sideline. It's just like he was just waiting. What is happening? It was
just trying to be a good teammate, but at the same time, why am I not out there? I mean, my thing is, how are you going to steal 50% of Javonte Williams carries when he's supposed to be the guy? Mm-hmm. But then you can't. Then Javonte leaves and Latavius Murray outsnaps you the whole game. It just doesn't make sense.
It didn't make sense to me either. Because he didn't do that bad the week before. I was really confused when I'm like, why is he not out there at all? I understand splitting the carries or whatever, but just to be like, nope, sit over there. We're not going to use you today. It was just odd. Their coach does odd things, so I don't know. I really do think that there's something going on behind the scenes there, similar to the Mitch Deontay situation we just discussed. I don't think that you can go from being the lead back to then the rookie takes your job, but you're still in a committee to the guy with the mop. Come here, put this helmet on. There's something that happened in that locker room. The team does not want him there, which honestly, I would not get rid of Melvin Gordon at this point. See where he lands. He's been around a long time. He's been able to produce. If he goes to one of these teams who desperately needs a running back and they can somehow help him not fumble the football, I think he could be stash worthy.
Yeah, I agree. I can see it. But I agree. I think Latavius Murray's valid pickup. I think I said it 2 weeks ago that I would take Murray over Boone for that exact reason. He's been in the league 4 years. We would have known about him type thing. But I think Murray stepped in Baltimore last year and was fantasy relevant for a little while because of all their injuries. So that's who he is. He's the Ryan Fitzpatrick of the running back. He can just go to a team and just start, and he's going to have fantasy relevance. Before we get to the next running back, Nathan has a question. I'm in another fantasy league, and someone offered me Derrick Henry for CMC. Was it a good offer? What do you think, David?
I'm torn on this because with the rumors about CMC being traded, if CMC gets traded to an offense that isn't a complete dumpster fire like where he is, if maybe he gets a even serviceable quarterback, we could start seeing the CMC of old, but his injury history is concerning. I'm going to lean on the Derrick Henry side of that.
What do you think?
I'm looking at how many points they've scored.
I think CMC is team and quarterback proof. He scored over 20 points the last 3 weeks in a row. Mm-hmm. So I think he's got the better upside because I think even if he stays, he's still getting you 15 to 20 a game. and that's not going to change much. If he goes and upgrades, then just like you said, you can get the CMC of old, and then all of a sudden you have the number one running back in fantasy. Whereas Derrick Henry, you know what he is. He's going to have games where he balls out, but he doesn't seem to be the same Derrick Henry. So he's going to have games where they can lock him up.
The first 2 weeks, Derrick Henry didn't score more than 10 points, but ever since then he scored 20 plus points, like 15 plus points. Christian McCaffrey hasn't scored under 15 except for one time. So, and he's been doing really good the last 3 weeks. Against, San Francisco has a really good defense. He did good against them. I mean, the Rams are the Rams this year, and the Cardinals are the Cardinals this year. But even against San Francisco, he had 23 points.
That's my concern with CMC is if it's just him. You're talking about him being, quarterback proof, team proof. Yeah, but with that kind of workload, I think he's a huge injury risk. So that's my concern with him staying. If he leaves, then I absolutely 100% would prefer to have him. If he goes to a team that has other weapons and it's not just the Christian McCaffrey show, then I think he'll hold up a lot better. But that's just, I still don't trust him to stay healthy.
So basically it's this is higher upside. Christian McCaffrey has a higher ceiling. Derrick Henry's the safer play. I think is what everybody has said so far. And if you're a gambling man like myself, you'll go CMC. If you don't like to gamble like David, you'll go Derrick Henry.
I guess I don't understand the point of trading those two.
There's higher upside on one.
I mean, I would just, if I had Derrick Henry, I'd just stick with Derrick Henry. If I had CMC, I would just stick with CMC. They're both good running backs, like first round worthy running backs that are scoring over 20 points for the last 3 weeks. I would just stick with whoever I had.
But that's not true. Derrick Henry hasn't scored over 20 points the last 3 weeks.
Yes, he has.
Has he?
Yes, I just looked it up.
You just said he had less than 15.
No, the first 2 weeks.
Okay.
He had like 8 points week 1, 8 points week 2, and then he started going up. Where like Christian McCaffrey hasn't scored the lowest game he had was 13 points, and that was week 2.
Right.
I mean, you can check, but I promise I just looked at it.
I know, but he was on a bye, so I was trying to see what he did before.
And I mean, Derrick Henry's this last time he had like 2 touchdowns or something ridiculous like that, so that's where a lot of your points come in. But he's had over 100 yards the last 2 games. So
I also think losing Robbie Anderson for the Panthers helps Christian McCaffrey's receiving, but to David's point, makes it more. I mean, he's going to touch the ball more, which is more opportunity for injury. Nathan also said, is Wilson a favorite fantasy option? Still a favorite fantasy option? I think he's talking about Russell Wilson, and I would say no.
I dropped Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's had 2 good fantasy games. I don't even say real life football games. 2 good fantasy games.
I don't even know if he's had 2. I know he had 1. I don't even know if has he had 2.
I think
he's had 27 and 17.
Okay.
I guess if you count 17. Yeah, that's not terrible. I would take it, but. And then Sean said, I can see McKissick going before Gibson does. Gibson is a threat on the pass game. With Samuel healthy, he kind of cancels out McKissick. I think he's talking about
Washington. We were just talking about how like Gibson might get traded.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I wouldn't cut a lot of the players that are losing playing time right now. If you have roster spots for them, because if they get traded, it could definitely be something with the trade deadline coming up in the NFL.
I was saying, when is the trade deadline?
In 2 weeks from today.
November 1st.
Yep,
so
2 weeks
try to
from
hold
today.
on to guys for like the next 2 weeks.
Yep. Sean said too soon on the Fitzpatrick talk, still bitter. Kyle Yacey said CMC, less of a chance of getting traded, in my opinion, with Robbie Anderson being gone in Carolina. I don't know. It could be a fire sale out in Carolina. They could be
are they
time
just
to move
dumping the team so they can start over?
And there you go. I guess unless Carolina's going for a rebuild, which could be a possibility. Also, is the CMC trade in the Dynasty League? Because that factors into this. Definitely I don't believe Nathan's in a Dynasty League though. Could be wrong. Henry barely gets over 100 against us. Over 100 yards is a good day, Sean, in today's fantasy world. All right. Any other running backs, David, for fantasy pickups?
Just keep an eye on the Indy situation with between Jackson and Hines. It whoever's healthy should get a good amount of work. We don't know at this point.
Jackson
I
balled
was
out.
actually surprised that Hines hasn't been ruled out because that was one of the nastier concussions that we've seen this year. I honestly expected them to keep him out a couple weeks, just because of obviously the Tua situation. We're seeing teams be a little more concerned about these players, which is a good thing, and it's we want great football, but we want to take care of these guys as well. So I was surprised that Hines has a shot to come back this week, but we shall see. Keep an eye on both of them. They're both around 50% in sleeper leagues.
Okay, Jackson scored 28 points. He balled out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think those are the only ones I had for running back as well. We'll go ahead and move on. Did you have any running backs, babe?
No. I'm a ride or die. Ride with who I have. Anytime I pick up a running back off the waiver, they don't do anything. So, we're just going to roll with what I got.
Ash.
Yeah.
Did you drop Cam Akers in the leagues that you have Henderson?
I traded Cam Akers in one league. I dropped him in a different league where I didn't have Henderson. The bench is really small, and the league is only a 10-person league, so it's hard. It's hard.
Well, if you or anybody else out there was an Akers owner, I wouldn't drop him because he's obviously going to get shipped to a running back needy team and could see an increased workload with a coach that actually likes him. If you're a Henderson owner, I would definitely go out sometime in the next couple of weeks. They're on a bye week this week. I don't think there's a huge rush. But Kyron Williams, they talked him up a lot going into week one and said, that this guy's going to get touches, blah, blah, blah. He got hurt, I think, on the first play or something like that. He's been on the IR. I definitely think he's a great stash going forward. If he's as good as they think he is, then he might take the job from Henderson. But like I said, they're on a bye week this week, so you got time unless you got an extra roster or IR spot that you can burn.
Mm-hmm.
That's a desperation play, though.
There you go. All right. How about receivers? Who's your receivers you got?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm double dipping into last week. I told you Wan'Dale Robinson was on his way back. 23%.
You're not worry about your own franchise.
What's that?
She's commented. Nathan said, "Is Cooper Rush a good fantasy
pickup?" And I told him to worry about his own franchise because he's about to not have a quarterback either. I know what it feels like when Lamar Jackson goes to Miami or something. So
somebody compare Cooper Rush's passing yards to Lamar Jackson's. Anyway.
Jeez.
Wan'Dale Robinson, 23% of the snaps this week, 3 of 4 targets, 37 yards. He got into the end zone. Like I said, he was almost back. They eased him in this week. As far as the weapons over there, it's Saquon and not much else so far till this point in the year. Kadarius Toney's been a huge bust. And obviously, Slayton is their most consistent, but it's not like I want to ever start him. But Wan'Dale is back. He got his looks this week. I think it'll be a lot harder to get him going forward. And this week they are at Jacksonville. He's available in 19% of leagues. I would definitely go and get him. That's my number one.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I like him a lot for sure. The couple that I had, I think Robbie Anderson's a good pickup right now, especially with Marquise Brown getting hurt. D-Hop does come back this week, but that number 2 spot's going to fill. And Robbie Anderson is a deep threat guy. He's a speed guy, so he doesn't need to come in and get too much of a connection with Kyler. Like he's going to be good at what he's good at, and Kyler can throw the ball deep. So I'm not sure I'd start him this week, but definitely worth a pickup. And I'll give you 2, and then I'll let you go back to you. I like Tyquan Thornton for the Patriots. Their rookie. He had a couple touchdowns. He looks like he's got a good connection there with Zip on the ball, Zappy. And if he's going to be the guy going forward, and that rookie to connection, somebody that's been with him all summer, he's going to look to him early and often because he trusts him. Same thing with the Pickett to Pickens thing. They went to rookie minicamp together. That's why they have the connection now. So if Zappy is the starter for the next couple weeks, Thornton is definitely a good guy to start while Zappy's there.
That was why Tyquan was not my number one. The question of quarterback for me, is Mac coming back? Who's Mac going to be targeting? And the fact that Jacoby Myers is still, I think, is still going to be the number one. But Nelson Aguilar or Kendrick Bourne both could be out again this week, which would open up a lot for Thornton. And the intriguing part for me, what I really like there, if he ends up being an integral part of their offense, he went 4 for 5 for 37 yards and a touchdown. That's nice. But he also had 3 rushes for 16 yards and a touchdown in a week that Ramondre owned the touches out of the backfield. I think it was like late in the third quarter that I think it was I can't remember. It was one of the 2 backups to Ramondre finally got a carry, like late in the third quarter. But Thornton, I mean, if they're going to use him rushing and receiving, that is very intriguing to me. So, like Sid said, if Zappy gets the nod this week, I am definitely watching to see how that kid does.
Do you have any other receivers you liked?
Jameson Williams, still 48%. He is getting closer to the point where I can't talk about him anymore. He is coming back. Obviously, they have a lot of weapons over there, but most of them can't stay healthy. So, they're coming off the bye, and they have a tough matchup this week against. I don't want to jinx them. We have a good defense. Okay, we have a good defense. Detroit's got to come see us this week, and Alex Loosemore will be playing me in fantasy. So Cowboys and the Lions facing off on numerous fronts. But I think once Jameson Williams is activated and practicing, you probably won't be able to get him as easily. So I would just do it now.
Yeah, I like it. This one is a little over 50%, but Chase Claypool's only rostered in 57% of leagues. And I like him a lot, especially if Mitch starts this week because Kenny's in the protocol. And even if he doesn't, I think as a rookie quarterback, you're going to lean on the guys that are catching the ball. Deontay's dropping it pretty consistently. So I think he's going to look for Chase a lot more. And Pickens, I think those are going to be turning into the top 2 guys. And even now, Chase is the 42nd receiver in the league. Everybody starts 2. And a flex, like he falls in the range of a starting wide receiver currently, as even going through both quarterbacks. So I like Chase Claypool being as a pickup as well. And then
just know if you start Chase Claypool, he's not going to get any points. If you bench him, he'll get all the points. That's what happens. I have Chase Claypool. That's what happens every time. I never play him when he scores, and I always play him when he doesn't.
So just let me know when you're benching him, so I'll start him.
You know who? What is Elijah Moore doing? What are the Jets doing?
Elijah Moore's another interesting situation. Did you see what's going on there?
He'll get traded.
He might. Did you see that, David? Did you see his comments after the game?
Who?
Elijah Moore.
I don't think I did.
So apparently he didn't play a lot. Like he didn't
get targeted one time.
Yeah, he had no targets. And after the game, he said, I can't say anything because then I'm going to look at it as a bad player. We won, so I'm happy we won, but I would like to be involved more, obviously.
He basically complained without complaining.
Right.
And the week before that, he only had 1 target.
It's almost like a Melvin Gordon situation.
And the week before that, I mean, he's only had 1 game where he's had like over 50 yards. So it's just, I think he's good. So I don't know why they're not using him, I guess. I don't know. Seems like a weird situation.
Yeah, I'm curious what happens there.
You think Scary Terry's points go up now that his quarterback's back?
I wouldn't touch that.
I'm just curious what Sean thinks. Is it Scary Terry's going to go back to being scary, or is he still just going to be
talking about
Terry?
I actually do. If you have Terry McLaurin, I would start him this week. Heineken loves that man.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I would.
I had to because Sean was in here and he said Lions all day, and I don't appreciate that. So,
right.
Nathan did have a couple questions. He said, "What about the tight end for them? He's pretty good. I think he's talking about the Cowboys tight end, Mr. Jake Ferguson.
We'll get there.
Okay. And then what about Palmer for the Chargers? Josh Palmer, the receiver. Any takes on him since we're talking about receivers now?
Oh my God, I'm trying. That was defensive. Oh my God, help me out. The corner for Denver, Surtain.
PS2.
Surtain did that. Okay, that's all that was. Mike is still the guy. I don't see Palmer outscoring Mike Williams all year. Surtain absolutely shut him down. The kid's talented. I would not put too many eggs in the Palmer basket unless they're facing an absolute shutdown corner who is going to shadow Mike Williams. So,
yeah, and then the other thing on that is Keenan Allen will be back soon, and that'll bump him down.
I think Keenan Allen's
he'll be back for a week and he'll get hurt again. Whatever.
No, don't say that.
That man's broken my heart.
I just traded for Keenan Allen, so so he probably will get hurt because that's the story of my life this year.
And then Nathan said, "I know this is off subject, but what about Damian Harris? Do you think he gets any touches if he's now that he's back?"
He's back.
That's the running back.
He's questionable right now.
Patriots. I don't trust Patriots running backs because they can't pick one ever. I always get him and the one for Houston mixed up. Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think when Harris is back, he's going to get his touches. They like running back by committee over there. But I think that Ramondre is he's making a pretty solid claim for that starting role. I was absolutely just dumbfounded that they gave him the game. They didn't go by committee. I really thought that they would be using every running back they had because that's what they do. Mm-hmm. But same thing as the Kenneth Walker situation, where thought that it would be more of a committee, but Stevenson just absolutely lit it up this week. I was super happy about it. He was one of my late round running backs I went after in numerous leagues. I actually have him in every single one of my leagues. So this week was fun to see.
I would temper expectations on Ramondre going forward. The Patriots love to be like, for one game, hey, look at this shiny new toy. You see this guy? Hey, everybody look at our toy. And then every week after that, he gets like, it's very much a committee. So that's just a very Bill Belichick thing. Look, we got this new running back. We really like him. And then he never has that type of game again. So just be careful. Proceed with caution.
Do you think that if Harris is out again this week, which I believe he is, right?
He's questionable right now. He's not out yet.
Okay, because I thought when he first went down, it was a minimum of 2 weeks. But do you think that if he's out, they let Ramondre run again? Or do they try and work the other two in?
I think they I don't think it'll be. I don't think he'll have the same game. I mean, he'll be the guy because Ramondre. The thing about Ramondre is he's a good receiving back, so he can play all 3 downs. Which is usually the Patriots usually have a ground and pound guy, and then they have a receiving guy. and that's the Harris to Ramondre. Ramondre is a good running back, though, like a ground and pounder, so he can do both. I just don't think Bill Belichick is the type to do that over and over again. But yeah, I just wanted to see because I have Harris in a league.
I just looked. It doesn't have anything for week 7 yet.
Yeah, it just says he's. Oh yeah, it doesn't say anything yet.
Yeah, I mean it still has him marked as out, but it says out for week 6. So I just don't think it's.
He's got projected points in the NFL league,
so he's probably not gonna play.
No, he does have projected points.
Oh, he does
like, to score. Yeah. So I would. He's not like officially out yet, but
oh, he does have projected points for. And sleeper too, but he has projected points for the rest of the year in sleepers. I don't know how
that. Any other? What were we talking about? Receivers?
I had a couple that were over 50, but they're so. I mean, if they're available in your league, you go get them. Alec Pierce, 53%. Like I said, he got real lucky with that late touchdown, which inflated his numbers and made his week look a little better than it was. But I do think he's going to be an integral piece going forward. And obviously with Hollywood going to be out for, I think like 6 to 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We got Robbie Anderson coming in. Robbie Anderson, 17%. Rondale Moore is only rostered in 59% of sleeper leagues. So, I mean, there are a lot of leagues out there where he's still available, and I don't see Robbie Anderson coming in and making an immediate impact. So, for me, that turns into the D-Hop, Rondale Moore show, and that could open the door for Dortch again too. But I really like Rondale Moore this week, so if he's available, I would definitely go snag him up.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dortch just because he had the connection early this year with Kyler, so he might lean that way again with Hollywood going out.
That could wind up being one of the more frustrating receiving cores to predict in the league over these next like 4 weeks. So
definitely. All right, on to tight ends. It sounded like you had something to say about that, David. So I'll let you start there.
He wouldn't be my topic, but I'll just jump into it because it just got brought up. The rookie Jake Ferguson, he is rostered in 2% of leagues. The interesting thing about him to me is that Schultz kept coming back, re-aggravating the injury, coming back, re-aggravating. If Ferguson gets time over the next couple of weeks, Dak has shown that Dak takes what the defense gives him. Dak doesn't force it to his stars. Dak is going to be back this week. Over the last couple of years, Dak has made names for our third and fourth wide receiving options. Jarwin and Schultz.
Dak likes tight ends too.
He does. Ferguson got, what was it? He had career highs in targets, catches, and yards. And his first
4 for 6 had 40 yards.
Thank you.
And a touchdown.
And his first score. If he's playing this week, I can definitely see Dak finding him. I think we're going to put up a lot of points this week. And I can definitely see him having a great week again.
That's something to say. You want to hear this fun thing I did? So I didn't know Schultz was going to be out until 15 minutes before the game. So I was playing Sydney and I had Schultz in, so I decided, I'm going to go get Ferguson off the waiver wire.
You decided.
Yep. And then Ferguson scored 14 points, and then I ended up winning.
Yeah, she decided. I said, go get Ferguson. That was her. That was her deciding.
Did that touchdown he had though?
And I won.
I mean, obviously you guys were both watching. I was watching, but that touchdown, that move he made.
Where he's like, bloop, it went over the guy.
He's quick. 9 out of 10 tight ends out there, when they catch that ball, they kind of come to a lumbering stop, change direction. He was looking like a wideout out there. So that's very intriguing to me, especially if Schultz can't stay healthy. So,
you also want to see something cool? Look at what Andrew got me. Well, I got it from Andrew.
Oh my
Ooh.
That's Jake Ferguson.
That's Jake. This is not his number, but it
That
is.
was his preseason number.
Well, I mean, since we're having fun, I'll let Sid go to his tight end. I actually have a bunch of tight ends. We can just kind of jump back and forth.
I got a couple too.
Look what I got today, Ash.
While you two show off your new jerseys.
Yes, that's awesome. Oh, I love that. I love Parsons so much.
I was so sad because obviously it's Texas. The Micah Parsons Salute to Service jersey sold out in every size in less than 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
I was heartbroken when I went to get one. So I spent the next 7 days refreshing that page 3-4 times a day. I almost gave up. This last Sunday, they had 8 more just appear, and I got.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
So we do have a question. Before we go to the tight ends, we do have a question. Ethan John said, should I trade Chubb and D-Hop for Eckler and Kyler Murray? His current quarterback is Tom Brady. His current receivers are Devontae Adams and T. Higgins and Mike Williams. So losing D-Hop might not be too bad. So he's currently has Adams, Higgins, and Mike Williams and D-Hop. And then he has Nick Chubb at running back and Tom Brady at quarterback. And he's looking to trade and get Eckler and Kyler. And then he'll have Devontae, T. Higgins, and Mike Williams going forward. So you're
basically trading Eckler for Chubb and Kyler Murray.
For D-Hop.
When you don't really need wide receivers, but Tom Brady's your quarterback.
I think Kyler. All right, so I'm going to give my opinion, and then you guys can answer after. I think Kyler Murray is a better fantasy quarterback than Tom Brady for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, that was what I was curious. You also have Fournette and Breece Hall in the lineup as running backs, so your running backs team set. I do like Eckler more than Chubb going forward. Personally, Chubb's in a timeshare. Eckler's the guy. Sonny Michel gets a carry here and there, but Eckler's receiving work is so much higher. I think his ceiling's much higher than Chubb's. I like Eckler a lot more. I like Kyler more than Brady. So the fact that you also have a stacked receiving core, I think having the running back room of Eckler, Fournette, and Breece Hall, you're going to be set for the rest of the season. I would take the trade personally.
I was going to say I would take the trade before you even listed your other running backs. And now that you've listed them, I would definitely take the trade.
Just a thought. I would see if they would take Devontae instead of D-Hop in that. Because if you can get Kyler Murray and have the Kyler Murray D-Hop stack, I think that would be nice. But either way, I would pull the trigger on that too.
Yeah.
What were the other two running backs that he said? He had Breece Hall and
Fournette. Leonard Fournette.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
Stacked little team.
See, and my only thought is Chubb's super consistent. I like consistency. He is in a timeshare. I know that, but Kareem Hunt requested a trade. We are coming up to the trade deadline. Not saying that it's going to happen or there's any whispers out there, but you can definitely swing for the fences with Eckler and Murray and not work.
All right. And then he said, how y'all think D-Hop will do?
I think D-Hop will do very well.
Same.
I think Kyler is going to rely on him, especially with Hollywood out.
Yeah.
Robbie Anderson coming in.
Yeah, I would have been a little worried about D-Hop if Hollywood was still there because I think Murray likes Hollywood a lot, and he would have stolen a lot of touches from D-Hop. But the fact that Hollywood is out now just boosts. I think D-Hop steps in and becomes that guy that he is, D-Hop. So I think he's going to step in and do great. Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to do better than T. Higgins and probably Devon. I don't know about Devon. He'll be right up there with Devontae. And he'll be better than Mike Williams, but they probably don't want Mike Williams or T. Higgins in that trade, so I can see why you're giving those guys up. But, I mean, I think he's definitely going to be that guy. All right, so you gave Jake Ferguson for a tight end. Let me get my list back up, sorry. So yeah, like Ash was saying earlier, big Bob Tonyan, Robert Tonyan there in Green Bay. He was one of the top targets for Aaron Rodgers this past week, and just like David said, with Cobb going out, he's going to lean back on his guys. And Rodgers said a couple weeks ago, talking about Tonyan, he was just waiting for him to look like himself because he was coming off the injury last year, and he's not. Rodgers didn't think he was 100% back yet. I mean, he's obviously playing. But I think after this week, seeing him target him so much, he's going to lean back hit that way, and I think he's going to have an increased role. So I like Tonyan a lot too.
100% agree there. Tonyan is my number one tight end pickup. I just wanted to talk about Ferguson and my Cowboys because we like to do that. He's available in 47% of leagues and 10 for 12 for 90 yards. Now, I didn't go look, but I'd be willing to bet that not a single Green Bay pass catcher has had that line all year. 10 for 12 with 90 yards.
I think Cobb did in England. I think Randall Cobb did in England, but that was it. Yeah, he had it was
there you go.
That's the only but one time. Yeah.
So if he's out there, go get him. 100%.
Yep.
I'll go one more. I'm torn on this going down the list. I mean, I'll just throw them all out there and we could just talk about them. Sure. But there are literally four rookie tight ends, and we talked about rookies last week and how this point in the season rookies really start to solidify their position or they ride the bench. But Greg Dulcich, Dan Bellinger, and Cade Otton. I'm really torn on all of them. I think I would probably go Bellinger at the top of this list just because of his schedule coming up. What do you think there?
That's exactly who I was going next. This was Dorchich, or however you say his name's first game this season. And Russ, he targeted him 3 times, but it's just he had the touchdown, and I just don't trust that offense. This is weird to say. Daniel Jones over Russ right now. So, but yeah,
it feels so gross.
It does. It's so weird. Daniel Bellinger, I do agree. I think he's been consistent. His game since week 2, 8, 5, 10, 14, which if you don't have Travis Kelce, that's kind of what you're looking for in a tight end. And so I'm not mad at it at all. I said Cade Otton last week. I do think he's got a bright future, especially with Cameron Brate going down. He's going to be the guy now. So I'm not sure how long that'll be, but I agree. I would put it in the same order. I would go Bellinger, Otton, and then the kid from Denver.
Yeah, like I said earlier, the Denver Broncos apparently don't have offensive meetings anymore. They only talk about defense. So I think that's what's going on with Russ is he just keeps hearing, stop the touchdown, and they don't like touchdowns.
Well, the offense can't talk to Russ because they got to speak to his manager first. So Russell Wilson is a weird human being. I've come to realize, just like he's so cheesy, so cringy.
He is.
I can't stand him. I didn't like him at Seattle. I really don't like him now.
Another tight end I'm just gonna throw out there that's rostered, actually 2 that are rostered in 37% and 42% respectively. Evan Ingram for Jacksonville, Mike Gesicki for the Dolphins. Evan Ingram.
Do it.
Huh?
I said, don't do it. They said it's gonna break your heart.
Yeah, that's what they say, but all tight ends break your hearts eventually. That's kind of what tight ends do.
That's fine. That's
either score 0 or like 30. There's no in between. Or they're Travis Kelce.
I think
Mark Andrews is pretty good.
Yeah, when Lamar can get him the ball.
Yeah.
For the rest of the year.
Mark Andrews did good this week.
What's up?
For the rest. She said Mark Andrews did good this week. What were we going to say?
For the rest of the year, would you rather take a swing on one of these rookies or one of these tight ends who's been scoring 5 to 10 points a week isn't doing much, but they're in that lower tier of tight end that's just going to give you a couple points.
I think it's situational, and you'd have to give me some names to give you examples. But like, I'd probably take Gesicki over the rookies. I'd take like a Freiermuth over the rookies, but I would probably take like the rookies over like an Evan Ingram or a Hunter Henry or
Like a Higbee.
some of those guys.
Hayden Hurst or
right. I would probably take the rookies over those guys. But like, I still think like Freiermuth, Gesicki. Trying to think of who. Hawkinson, I guess, is kind of in that category.
Higbee.
I think I would take Higbee over the rookies.
I'm really high on Higbee, but
I think the rookies are definitely in the middle there. I think it's like your top guys, like the guys you're never going to bench, like Kelsey, Andrews, probably Kittle and Waller, even though they don't do it all the time, but you're never going to bench them really.
Just trade them.
And then there's the next tier, the Freiermuth, Hawkinson, Gesicki, I think.
I start
Schultz when he plays. I probably go Bob Tonyan there, and then the rookies, and then the next level there.
I traded Darren Waller, and it makes me so happy to finally get him off my roster so I can stop getting mad at him every week about Hunter Henry. Oh, that's another.
Yeah, Nathan said, what about Hunter Henry? I think he's
like a Gesicki. Like,
I like Hunter Henry as long as Zappy's playing. I think I should say. When they go back to Mac, I think he falls off a little bit.
Everyone falls off when Mac comes back.
Which is wild. I mean, I've never been a Mac fan. I thought he was a product of the system last year. But I think Hunter Henry's in – I think he's in the tier that he's going to get you 5 to 10 points consistently. And you can just ride with that because that's what tight ends, the majority of tight ends are. But I think he falls in the tier that if you want one of the rookies and you want to put in for the rookies, I would take the rookies over Hunter Henry.
I like it.
Sean is trying to insert his Washington fandom. He said a healthy Logan Thomas.
Sean just dropped Logan Thomas in a league, so I don't want to hear it.
Especially
near second tier of the rookies. So, you put him over Dulcich, but under Otten? Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Sean.
Logan Thomas, I really liked last year, and I put him on he was hurt, and I had him on my bench. They would not put this man on IR, and then he came back for like 5 seconds and went on IR, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
So one of the things I like to do when it comes to tight ends, if you don't have one of the top tier guys, I just look for bad offenses, or I guess bad overall teams, tight ends, teams that are going to be losing or down in the game a lot just because they're going to throw the ball. You're just going to get the junk time. So like Hunter Henry, the Patriots just play such a conservative style of football. They're never going to be in that position a lot. Some like, it's hard to say kind of who else, but Logan Thomas falls into the bad teams. It's probably going to be playing from behind and throwing a lot category.
Weird.
And I think that makes him a little bit more valuable as a fantasy tight end. Depends who they're playing.
They're playing the
Cowboys. Nathan said that Darren Waller isn't on the list. I think he's on the list of I think he's on the George Kittle, Darren Waller list. I think they're on I think it goes Kelsey and Andrews. They're the guys. They're top guys. Then I think it goes Waller and Kittle, where they're so talented you can't bench them, but they're not the top guys because they don't produce like they
make you mad every week.
And then I think it goes like the Freiermuth, Hawkinson. I think Gesicki's in that tier.
I don't know. I feel like Hawkinson's in that Waller tier was like very talented.
No, that's Freiermuth. Hawkinson is below Freiermuth.
No, Hawkinson. Iowa boy, Patty.
Patty's above all of them. But anyway, I'm just kidding. We're going to talk about our teams. It goes Kelsey, Andrews, Freiermuth, and then everybody else.
It doesn't. It doesn't. Is Freiermuth going to play?
He should.
Thank God. I need him to come. Speaking
of, I know.
You need him to come back, huh?
Yeah.
You need him, huh? But he ain't up there.
Who scored more touchdowns this year, Freiermuth or Taysom Hill?
Ooh.
I played Taysom Hill this week, but like 4 points. I I feel like I have Waller, Patty, Hawkinson, and they were either on a bye or hurt. Like I was hurting for tight ends this week. Oh, and I had Schultz.
When Taysom Hill has a couple games where he played the whole game and had less than 5 points, if Freiermuth played the whole game, he's never had one of those. So
Less than 5 points. Oh, you said the whole game. Never mind.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
fair enough.
I ain't watching out for nobody. That plays for Washington. Go away. Who?
Cole Turner might be on the rookie list. Adam Miller.
Hendershot is better than whoever that guy is.
I just love that dude's name.
Hendershot.
Hendershot with the catch. Did you see Troy Aikman? Wait, who called your guys' game? Collinsworth saying Dickerson rammed right down her throat. Right down your throat.
God.
That was pretty funny.
I can't believe you said that.
Anyway,
I hate
back
that
to the topics at hand. Any other tight ends you got on
We've
your
been
list?
on here too long. It's getting out of hand.
No more time.
Okay. All right, perfect. I had Hawk on a bye this week, and I beat Sean.
There was
Sorry,
one league I was like, I'm just not going to play a tight end this week. I'm just going to go without because I don't want to drop anybody. And someone ended up being able to.
I've been known to take that route with defenses and kickers, but
Yeah, because you don't play real fantasy. Did you see David's record and the one with the median? He's really good.
Sean, they coming for you right now, Sean.
Anyway.
Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.